Morning, everyone. So, I've been listening to a lot of Abraham Hicks lately just because it happens to be what's showing up in my feed on my YouTube. I do this thing where I kind of just unsubscribe from as much as possible, and whatever shows up in my feed, I take it as my higher self sending me advice, or at least guiding me in the right energy direction. It's just something fun I like to play. One of the messages I've been getting a lot lately was to go back to those things I used to do as a kid. So as an only child who spent a lot of time alone as a kid and who had a lot of chores, because my stepdad, instead of actually taking care of me, would just assign me chores for the hours I was alone to keep me busy so I wouldn't get into trouble. That was his theory. And of course, if I didn't do the chores, there was hell to pay. Anyways, so it was boring. So, especially around the ages of what would I have been? Probably 9. So yeah, it would be boring by myself, home alone, cleaning. I used to think I was pretending, but now I wonder if I really was pretending, where there'd be fairies or brownies helping me dust the shelves, or there'd be some secret mission, right? I'd play, you know what I mean? I would make it an adventure. And often it would make me slower at what I was doing because I was playing while doing it. But that was the message I was getting a lot lately, was to start doing that again. Start making your everyday more playful, more fun. That was actually the right energy. That's what we're supposed to be in. That's what life is supposed to feel like. But I was having a really hard time getting there and really accepting that. Also, I had some things I had to let go of, some energies that I don't even know how I had become connected to them, but I needed to disconnect. Anyways, there's a lot of sirens out now. Do you hear that? Bananas. Anyways, so I was struggling because I was feeling logically, I know I needed to let go of this energy. I know I needed to make a mind shift, change, to bring more playfulness into my every single day, because that's the energy, right? Gratitude, playfulness, that's the energy we want to live in to create miracles, to make the magic happen. So I was trying really hard, but I realized after listening to Abraham Hicks what my problem was. Momentum. I had too much momentum in one direction to just suddenly stop and switch and go a different direction. Now, there has been times in my life where I have done the sudden stop and been either thrown into some other direction or, forcefully popped out into another direction. That has happened. It is not pleasant. So it's much better to do it gradually. And the momentum is that it's every thought you have, you're putting energy behind it, right? So it vibrates. And the more something vibrates, the faster it vibrates. I mean, just think of physics. You cannot just instantly stop something without there being a consequence if it's got a lot of momentum. So yes, Odin, just wait. He thinks his friend is outside, but he actually just went inside. But he probably wants to go pee where the other dog peed. Dogs. Anyways, so I had to slow down the momentum. Oh, all right, I'm gonna let him out. Hang on. Right, so the momentum is something that I hadn't considered, even though I knew everything has a momentum. When I was teaching people about gut health and all the different things that people want to do to make themselves healthy, I always was slowing my clients down and being okay, no, don't do a mass life change. I want you to focus on 1, maybe 2 things right now that you're going to slowly start to change and make them a habit, so that they're not something you have to think or concentrate on to make them happen, right? Momentum, right? When something becomes a habit because you've done it so much, it's got a lot of freaking momentum. And so a lot of these thought patterns that we have and perceptions that we've maintained from programming have a lot of momentum. And a lot of the times when we're losing the momentum is when we go into those isolation modes, those periods of times where we need solitude and time to reflect and be alone, because we have to slow down the momentum of what we had previously going on so that we can integrate the new beliefs, the new ideas, and start moving in the right direction for us now. It's not that the direction we were in was wrong or bad, okay? It's just, it no longer serves us. And we have to stop thinking about things as bad, good, evil, right, wrong. It's not like that. You were doing that was working for you. But either you plateaued or you just outgrew it and now you're going in a different direction. And that's what's the whole point, is to have multiple experiences and have... If you get new knowledge and you refuse to integrate the new knowledge and grow with it, it's as bad as people not updating the software on their computers or their phones and then complaining that it's not working right and they can't download all the new apps out there. You gotta upgrade everything. You can't just upgrade one thing and then want the rest of it to work like magic. So we have to, just like our phones sometimes, we have to stop everything, close all the programs down, let it update, let it download the update, let it update, and then hopefully, if we did it right, it didn't delete all of our data. Actually, I haven't had that problem in years. I don't think it really happens much anymore unless you have an older phone. But you know what I'm saying. The momentum is a big deal. And momentum happens when you give something thought. So if you're spending your whole life having negative thoughts, right? The first thing you do when you wake up is like, oh my God, I gotta go to work again. Instead of waking up and going, oh wow, I woke up today. I'm alive. This is good. This is good. I'm happy I'm alive. Switching from one to the other is not gonna feel great at first. And so if you can't go from waking up to, oh fuck, another day, to, wow, thank God I'm alive. If you can't make that sudden jump, then you're gonna have to start smaller. So maybe you wake up and you be like, okay, I have to go to work. Wait, no, I'm gonna be grateful for something. And you're gonna find whatever you can be grateful for that day. Maybe the sun is shining. Maybe you got a new creamer for your coffee. I don't care what it is. Find something small to be grateful for. You don't have to just be grateful for it. Eventually you're gonna reach a point where it's like, wow, I'm really glad I'm alive today. And the reason why is because if you're not alive, nothing in your life would have meaning. Would it matter what clothes were in your closet if you were dead? Would it matter what car you had in the parking lot if you were dead? Like, everything in your life only has the meaning you give it, which means that if you're dead, it has no meaning. Sorry. It's just... yeah. So I'm really excited when I wake up and I'm like, I'm alive again. I get to do more living stuff. I never used to be, but now it's a lot of fun. It's become what it's meant to be, a game. Which brings me back to the other point I had about the message I've been getting about making even the mundane stuff, about playing. I remember one of my favorite, because my all-time favorite movie as a little girl, like at the age of 4, was Sleeping Beauty. I absolutely freaking love that movie. And not just because of the rebelliousness of Aurora, because I loved her rebellious nature, or even the love story, because I loved the love story, but it was the whole thing with the dragon and the stabbing in the heart, and yeah, I just love that show. But anyways, so when I was a kid, when I was baking, I used to always pretend I was like a magical fairy, right? I was like, because, you know, in the movie, she eventually has to get magic out to help her make the cake, because that fairy does not know how to bake. Anyways, yeah, we need to make everything a little more fun. Everything should be joyful and in gratitude, and magic will happen. We've just forgotten it, but it's gonna come back. The more of us who believe, trust me, it's gonna get stronger every day. I'm excited. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.